Today, I'm going to give you an entire objection handling framework that closed over $2 million worth of deals in 2 years when I worked for Charlie Morgan. So guys, if you don't know me, my name is Louis. I closed for Charlie Morgan and Imperium Acquisition for 2 years. I recently left and I have got an exact framework process that I use to close all those deals, make 15 to 20K a month commission, and make the business hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. It's all value today, guys. I'm going to go through an entire framework for objection handling so you don't have to come at it from a place of uncertainty or being scared of pushing or calling yourself a pussy. You just have a process that you can follow every single day, day to day, and understand where you are on the call and how to close people. If you are an agency owner, if you are a coach, anyone in this sort of world that we are kind of talking about, I guess, today, this is going to work extremely well for you. So let's dive in and let's just get to it because I know there's going to be a lot of value. So if I kind of bring myself back down here, guys, this is essentially the process that we're talking about, okay? Now, in my other videos, I have explained that this retie part of the call, okay? So if you haven't seen the hour-long training I did on the entire sales process, to put it into perspective, might be a good idea to maybe go and watch that one first. However, the retie is the thing that comes after price, okay? So let me explain why we do the retie. We do the retie because you've just had an entire call with someone. You've gone through discovery, you've pitched them well, ideally, okay? And they're looking interested. They like what you have to say. It all sounds great. Oh, I'm going to solve all of your problems. Then you deliver price and the entire call changes. We are having a completely different conversation 9 times out of 10 when you deliver the price because it's a big slap in the face. It's probably more expensive than they thought. It might be less, but regardless, the feeling of, okay, now I have to actually make a payment is in the mind of the individual. Okay, so it's game time. For them, for you, it's like, all right, now we're having a serious conversation. So we deliver price. Quick caveat, for this to work the most effective and the best way to deliver price is to deliver as an upfront. So let's just use a simple example for an agency owner, okay, who has a 3-month minimum contract, like a lot of people do, and you do $1,500 a month. Instead of pitching it like that, you want to pitch it as $4.5K upfront. Okay, so I'll pitch you basically price. So John, to work with us, okay, it is $4.5K for everything we've gone through. Okay, we're going to generate you more consistent leads, get better quality of leads through the door, so you're not wasting your time speaking to people, so that we can get your business to double its revenue in the next 6 months. So that's how everything works. Silence, 10 seconds. How do you feel about that if necessary? Once you've delivered that price, what are they going to say? Okay, Louis, that sounds great. I just need to think about it. 9 times out of 10, that is going to come out of the mouth of your prospect. Okay? So what do? We don't attack that. Don't just dive directly into that. Don't attach yourself to that objection. Okay, John, I understand. In terms of the process and everything that I've presented you and we've gone through, do you feel like this is what you're looking for? You have to get a yes here. Have to get a yes. Okay? And if they say, yeah, it's not bad, we have to call it out. Are you sure, John? I just feel like maybe I'm missing something here. Is this what you're looking for? It's just a little more expensive than I expected. Okay, cool. Now we've got a bit more information. Yeah, John, I can appreciate that. But just price aside, in terms of the process, do you genuinely feel like this will get you to $50K a month? Because that's the most important thing. Yeah, if it works, again, we have to call that out. So what we're trying to do in this first part, the retie questions, okay? And if they say yes and you're not sure, you can even just ask them why to start to get them to sell you. Okay, so you can start to get them to sell you on why they think it's good, etc., etc. But very simply, I understand in terms of the process, everything we've gone through, do you feel like this is what you're looking for? And that's a genuine question. You've just pitched them, you've just given them the price, Is this what you're looking for? Like, it's kind of a normal question, but the reason that we're asking it is to look for the certainty, okay? Do you feel like this will get you to your goal? Because that's the most important thing to me. Yeah, I think it will. Why? Oh, because you do X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. Now we truly believe that this guy wants to do it. And if he gives you any uncertainty or doubt, you got to call it out. Cool, so we can tick this box. This is what we're doing, guys. It's a process. We're just ticking off boxes. Okay, it's all going to make a little bit of sense. So, we tick off this box. Awesome. Now we come to the next question. Okay, awesome, John. It sounds like we're in a good spot there. Let's just say we got you onboarded today, okay, and we got you to 50K a month, gave you the ability to spend a bit more time with the kids, have the business running a bit more on autopilot. Would that be worth the 4.5K to you? Again, they have to say yes to that. If they're like, I guess, what the fuck are we talking about? What do you mean? Like, okay, John, so like, sorry, if you invested 4.5K and you didn't get 100 and you got 100K out, you wouldn't be happy? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Just like kind of call them out, right? Most people, based on what you're promising them and where they want to get to, like the value is going to line up, right? But this is the thing, if they give uncertainty, okay, or, let's say you're selling a course, for example, and you're like, oh, getting you to 100K, is that worth the 10K investment? And someone's like, yeah, I guess, like if it worked, because, in a course sense, they have to do the work. So this question is like, do they see the value in the product? Like the way I'm delivering the product, do they see the value in it? And if they don't, then you have to kind of pre-handle some objections. Now, this is really important. This is obviously, ideally, this goes very smoothly and we tick off these boxes and we have the certainty. Now, if it doesn't, okay, you don't want to just start, like if someone's giving you uncertainty, you don't want to just like attack what they have to think about. And you don't just want to attack the money aspect. You really want to go through this and build their certainty as much as possible. Because for example, someone might say to this top question, yeah, it looks great. I've just worked with another agency before and I'm just not sure I want to do it again. Okay, well, we've got a burnt in the past objection. So what do we need to do? We need to come out here and handle burnt in the past. Now we just need to handle it enough to get them to agree that you might be a little bit different. Okay? And then what do we do? It's like, okay, so you've handled burnt in the past. Why'd you book the call? Do I seem a little bit differently? What didn't work about the past agency that you went with? What are you looking for specifically this time? Has what I presented you lined up specifically with what you're looking for? If you can get them to agree to those things, okay, then you can come back in and just ask this. Okay, so based on just the conversation we've had, like now do you genuinely feel like I can get you to 50K a month? Because that's the most important thing. Yes, I do. Why? You see what I mean? So again, it's just you dip in, you come back out. This is your framework. This is your Bible, okay? Now I know I haven't gotten into objection handling yet. I'm building it. Okay, so you've handled some objections, or they've given you something, or they're all in. All we need to know is 100% certainty. They think that this is what they're looking for. They definitely want to do it, and they definitely see the value. So, okay, cool. Sounds like this is something you want to do, right? Yeah, Louis, I love it. This is awesome. I just don't have the money. Now, quick pause, let's go back up, because if you deliver price up here, right, and the first thing someone says is, oh yeah, I just need to think about it, it's a little bit expensive, or I don't have the money right now. Do not go straight to payment plans. Do not start attacking think about it, or money, or any of that shit. Yeah, man, yeah, John, I appreciate you. Look, the money's the easiest thing to solve, but just in terms of the process and everything we've gone through, do you feel like this is what you're looking for? You have to do this on every single call, guys, okay? Every single call. So you go through that. That should make sense, okay? You want to hold money for after the retie. So someone's after deliver price, they said it's just a little bit expensive. You've gone through the retie. They definitely want to do it. They just don't have the funds right now. So now we come to the logistical objections. There are 3 logistical objections. These are things that, if true, no amount of objection handling can essentially overcome. So we treat these as true until they are proven false. So if someone physically doesn't have the money in their bank account and they show you the bank account, it doesn't matter how good you are at objection handling, you will not close a deal. If someone genuinely needs to speak to their partner, okay? If someone genuinely needs to speak to their partner and like they've got some crazy security thing on their card that they can't spend the money, like, okay, then that's true. If someone is literally getting on an airplane tomorrow morning and they're being gone away for 6 months with no phone, okay, fine, that's true. A lot of the time, partner and time are smoke screens, and really money is the only real objection, okay? So actually, I've done this a few times now, but really guys, I did it in order to make it nice and neat, but I want you to think of it as this. Money, partner, okay, ooh, and time. So you got to do in order like this, like a triangle, like a hierarchy of importance, okay? So, perfect. So, what have we got to now? Let's quick recap. They definitely want to do it. Okay, awesome. So, you definitely want to do this, John. That's amazing. You mentioned the money situation. If you don't mind being transparent, like, where are we at the moment? Like, roughly how much do you have available to maybe do something like this? Guys, you have to get a figure. Have to get a figure. So, what the prospect doesn't know right now is that they think it's 4.5K. But in reality, it's actually one-time payment of 4.5K, two-time payment of 2 point whatever that is, or 3 payments of 1,500. And they do not know that. So what do we have? We have leverage. Okay, that is the thing. We've got leverage. We need to have leverage, okay? So, and also what we've got up here, what we create up here is leverage. They've told us they want to do it. They've told us they see the value. So, John, you mentioned it's a little bit out of reach. This is definitely something that you want to do though, right? I'm always checking in. Yeah, man, I love it. I just don't have the funds right now. Okay, cool. If you don't mind being transparent, man, just so I can kind of know where we're at, make sure we're on the same page. Roughly, where are you at the moment, funds-wise? Louis, I'm sorry, man. I've only got 2K available. Okay, no, I feel you, man. Look, John, most people do typically tend to pay up front. However, in this situation, given that you are 100% in and you definitely want to do this and it's just money getting in the way, we can break it up into a payment plan if you feel like that would help. That's where we're going, guys. So that's the leverage. So, want to take a little step back. Okay, they definitely want to do this. We're in money land now. If someone says they've got 2K, right? So this guy's got 2K. This is now a closable deal. Okay? So really, we can cross off as soon as we know the figure and as soon as that figure lines up with our payment structures. Sometimes it might be beneficial to ask. It's like, oh, okay, you've got 2K. Is there any way you could potentially come up with the 4.5? Just to kind of see where we're at. They might say, oh yeah, man, I'll get the rest tomorrow, or I'll get it next week, whatever. But let's say he's like, nah, man, the 2K is all I've got. It's all I've got right now for another month. I apologize. We're going to have to delay this a month. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to get off scot-free without closing. But, ideally, he's like genuinely upset, right? Because he should want to genuinely do this. So what do we have? The best word ever. We have leverage, okay? So now we go to payment plans. You ask the question, do you think it would be helpful if we could offer a payment plan? He's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, what have you got? Don't just jump to the last payment plan. Even though it doesn't fit in his budget, people lie about how much money they have. So, what is 4? What is 4? 4, 5 divided 2. It's 225, right? Divide 2. Yeah, 2250. So, okay, John. Look, like I said, we don't normally do this, but typically, as low as we go, is 2 payments of 2,250. Is there any way you could potentially come up with the extra 250 to kind of get the ball rolling today? Given that you definitely want to do this, right? Yeah, I love it. I want to do it. I just don't have the money right now. All I have is 2K. Okay. What I would do here, all right, is when you know this, okay, you still want to kind of make sure there's no partner or time, right? So it's like, cool, we've got the 2K. All right, awesome. No, fair enough, John. Well, let's just make sure. So in terms of you, it's just you in the business, right? They're going to bring up a partner in discovery. Sorry, they're going to bring up a partner in discovery 9 times out of 10, or after you deliver price. So in this scenario, he doesn't have a partner, okay? Now today, I'm going to focus mainly on fear objections. In my course and with my one-on-one coaching, if you like, there's going to be more stuff on partner and time and all of this stuff, but it would take me hours and hours and hours to go through all of it. So today we're just going to focus on the fear stuff, because typically that's where most people lose deals. Okay, so now we've got a figure, there's no partner involved, and he's ready to start today. He's not going on holiday, he's not over busy, all that sort of shit. So, okay, we bypassed deposit and we've got to the point where we've pitched a 2,200 payment plan, and he said, nah man, like genuinely I can't make it work. I've only got 2,000 available, maybe even a little less. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, look John, in this situation, just because you definitely want to get going today, right? Yeah, I would love to. We can bring it down to 1,500 across 3 months, 1,500 a month, get you in, get you going, get you to 50K a month. How does that sound? And then they hit you with, oh yeah, that's awesome, man. Just give me 24 hours. I just want to think about it. Now we are in objection handling, team, because what do we know for a fact? They definitely want to work with us. They definitely see the value. They definitely have the money. There's no partner involved and they have the time to do it. So we know categorically that this guy is being a pussy and he is in fear. So now you can sit on the call and close like as long as you like, to your heart's desire. You know, push that prospect until you get the deal done. So we're in fear, okay? Now this is basically what I wanted to do today, right? I've probably been over this like 3 or 4 times already, but it's so important, guys. This just gives us so much leverage, okay? So we're in fear. Fear is easy. Like, genuinely, fear should be easy, right? So, okay, he just says, I just need 24 hours to think about it. Got you. So what do we do? Yeah, John, I can appreciate that, you know. For you, though, over the next 24 hours, potentially needing to take that time, potentially, important word, what boxes need to be ticked in your mind? What needs to line up for you to say, I want to go ahead with this? That's it. Now, some people will actually have a little list of things that they need to do to actually get this done, and you can attack them one by one and cross them off like we've done before. But most people are like, oh man, honestly, I just need to think about it. Now we can start to call it out. Okay, so, John, is it just like a little bit of hesitancy? I don't know, even maybe a little bit of fear getting in the way right now from you kind of coming on board today? Yeah, you know, I've just never done this before. Or, yeah, you know, I've just been burnt by another agency. Or, you know, I'm just not sure about the next payment. This is going to get you knowledge on what really the real objection is. Because you've called it out. Is it just a bit of hesitation, a bit of fear? Yeah, it's just a bit of hesitation around X. Okay? Now, if they're like, no, honestly, man, I just need to think about it. You kind of got to start labeling shit. So it's like, I get that, man. But like, I mean, thinking about things means there needs to be a criteria. Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, what is that criteria? Is it the fact that you've worked with someone in the past? No, I haven't. Okay, have you ever done this before? No, I've never worked with an agency. Okay, let's jump onto that. So now what we've done is, okay, so what's potentially getting in the way for you right now is that you've never worked with an agency before and maybe you're potentially hesitant around making the wrong decision. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, now we've labeled it. We've identified it. Now we can attack it. So, John, do you mind if I offer a different perspective? Reframe 1. Now, for all of you guys who are looking for scripts that you think are going to change your life, here you go. I'm going to just caveat this with the script isn't going to change your life. You need to understand this stuff as a foundational principle, but this is essentially a really fucking good script to handle objections. So, do you mind if I offer a different perspective? They say yes. Look, John, we all make decisions based on our perspective, right? I won't even look at it. The problem is, if we make decisions based on the perspective that we have, not the perspective that we want, we're only going to be stuck in the same place as we are right now. So, let me ask you a question. I suppose, do you think your past experiences with never working with an agency before is potentially shaping your decision making today? He's going to say yes. Okay? I understand. I appreciate the honesty. Are you 100% happy with where you are in the business right now? He's going to say, hopefully, no. Okay. So, I guess, just to make sure I get the wording right, do you want to allow that decision-making process that has ultimately got you where you are right now? A better way to ask that, this is why I'm saying you need to understand this at its core, is, so I guess, do you want to allow the fact that you've never worked with an agency before, okay, to get in the way of your future results and life moving forward? He's going to say no. Why not? This is the question, guys. No one expects this. You would be honestly, man, I can't tell you how many times I've asked this and people go, because people kind of know, they're like, oh, he's handling my objections right now. Bro, people think you're going to stop here. They're like, oh, no, I don't want to. Why not? And they're like, holy shit, this guy means business. Then you go further. So honestly, John, like what series of actions do you feel you need to make, or what is it? What series of actions and decisions do you feel you need to make to put yourself in the best position moving forward to get to your goal of 50K a month? And how long do you really want to wait to make that decision in order to get you where you want to go? And they're going to say, I don't want to wait. And you say, well, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything, John. You don't have to do this. Push away, guys. Okay, so what do you think we should do? Now, that's the reframe. Now, obviously, I've got my own way of doing it. I don't do it exactly the way it's scripted here. This is a really good script, right? I've kind of gotten a little looser with it over time. But basically, the foundational principle is, do you want your past experience, the thing that's shaping your perspective, to get in the way of you not getting your outcome that you want? If you've done the rest of the call previous to this properly, you will have nailed this and it will hit really, really hard. So that's the script. So now we're here. So you basically ask for the order. It's like, so John, what should we do? Should we get started? And he goes, look, man, I love everything you're saying, but I just need to think about it. It's like, you know what, John, I get you, man. I just want to take a big step back. This is important because tension. Pressure is building. This is fire. This is fire. This terrible drawing. This is tension. This is pressure. It's starting to build. And if you feel a little bit tense, your prospect is feeling it times 10. Always remember that. Okay? So I just want to take a big step back, John. Look, I appreciate that you might need to potentially have a little think about this. But genuinely, like, where do you want to get to from this experience of us working together? You know, I want to get to 50K. It's like, you told me, you know, what you want for your friends, for your family, for your future, right? How important is that to you? Like, really feel that. Like, how good would it feel to get there? So this is where objection handling basically just becomes a reframe, ask for the order, go to the desired outcome. Then, how would it feel for you if you don't make this decision, John, and you don't get where you want to get to? Like, what does your life look like not getting to 50K a month? Consequence, ask for the order, then second reframe, and then just follow this again. That's it. That's all you got to do, guys. Now, another thing to mention is, as the time goes on, time, intensity, okay, this is just the first one. This is just getting our feet wet. So be kind of, you don't want to be too aggressive here. But as time increases, intensity needs to rapidly increase. Even maybe a little bit more like that. Because as time increases, decision-making process rapidly decreases. So as time goes on, it's going to be harder for them to make a decision, so you need to be more tough. Right? So you've got reframe 1, ask for the order. Desired, consequence, ask for the order. They hit you with another objection. Label it. Reframe 2. Ask for the order. Desired. Consequence. Ask for the order. They hit you with another objection. Boom, boom, boom. It's just like, that's all you got to do. Now, obviously, I mean, again, I can only kind of do so much because there needs to be a foundational understanding of this. But it's really simple. Like, again, I'm just going to repeat. Label the objection. Go to the first reframe. Ask for the order. Talk about their desired outcome and ask them questions about how it would feel to get there. Talk about their consequence of them not making the decision, how that would feel if they don't get there. Then ask for the order again. In this process, always pull the tension off and then take it to another reframe. Obviously, I've got a bunch of them. Unfortunately, like, I do want to kind of keep some for the program, right? So, I probably will go through them eventually, but you just look up reframes. You can make them up, like, there's a million of them. What would you do if you were in my position? Elon Musk, Bezos, comparing analogies, all that sort of stuff, right? Like, this is the important stuff, okay? And you just loop and loop and loop until you close a deal, but just be wary of the time and the intensity, okay? And really, the very last thing that you want to say up here is, John, what decision do we need to make to put you in the best position when you go to bed tonight that you've secured your future for your family? Because honestly, John, I don't think that you're going to be proud of yourself by pussying away from this decision. Maybe a little tough, but by the end of it, man, you're just throwing darts at the board and hoping something sticks. Because they are really going to struggle to make a decision. Right? Ideally, you want to kind of get someone done about here. Reframe 1 is about here. Makes sense, right? So reframe 1, consequence desired. Reframe 2, consequence desired. What are we waiting for? Get them closed around here. Decision-making processes around there. And this is probably about an hour and 15, max hour and 20 into the call. I mean, ideally an hour and 5 is when you're getting this stuff done. So yeah, this is literally, guys, and if you do this well, okay, if you do this well, you will close deals like just as soon as you've organized the money. A lot of the time you guys are probably missing out on deals because someone's like, I just don't have the money, and you're treating it like it was fear. And you know what the funny thing is? Don't feel bad about that, and don't feel like I'm being like, that you're doing something wrong. Guys, my first calls at EasyGrow for the first 6 months when we didn't have a process and Charlie was the sales manager, I guess, and we had no process and no scripts and no training, and it was just a bit of a shit show. Our calls were going for 2.5 hours because people, and they wouldn't close because someone didn't have the money, and you just never really knew if they were telling you the truth or not. Right? Obviously I knew they were saying they didn't have the money, but I wasn't sure because we had cameras off. It was a fucking shit show. So ideally, genuinely, people should close around here. But now you've got a framework, and a lot of people will close here, to be honest. If you've done a good pitch, if you've done a good job, people should close at that part of the call. But now you've got a clear and succinct framework to walk through and understand where you are at every part of the call, and if they've got the money or there's no partner and they're ready to do it. So yeah, I really believe this is going to help a lot, guys. And I really hope that you guys close more deals because of this. I closed a shitload more deals because of this framework. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.